Designer Notes Subject 36. This channel is sponsored by you. Like, comment, and subscribe for content you'd like to see next. In 1930, Edward Heuer patented the oscillating pinion. This, to many, has been a signature of the Heuer chronograph for almost a century. And it's not in the new Carrera chronographs. Here's why losing this technology actually makes the new Carrera chronographs the symbol of the Heuer spirit. The oscillating pinion is a horizontal clutch that allows the transfer of power to the seconds hand once the chronograph was activated. It's a great technical achievement that Heuer chronographs used for decades. It's so good, in fact, that even other chronographs were using this same technology. In 1969, in a joint venture between Breitling, Buren, and Dubois de Pras, Heuer released its first automatic chronographs with the Altavia, Monaco, and Carrera. Earlier this year, the Carrera Sports Chronograph was released, and as exciting this release was, we were all expecting that there's more to come in September. Tag Heuer did not disappoint. They released this month the Carrera Chronographs. So, for this year, we have two new Carrera chronographs to choose from. The Carrera Sport Chrono in 44mm and the simply called Carrera Chrono in 42mm. These come in 4 different variants: black and blue dials with metal bracelets, and gray and silver dials on leather straps. The new Carrera Chrono embodies the Heuer spirit in more ways than one. First, it's the purest form of the Carrera the way Jack Heuer envisioned it to be. I wanted a dial that had a clear, clean design. I decided to use the inside bevel of the tension ring of the glass to carry the markings. You can clearly see that here. That chapter ring is marked with the minute/second markers, making reading your time while driving a lot easier. Without the tachymeter diverting your attention, the watch face is definitely cleaner and less cluttered. This simpler dial is also demonstrated by the lack of a subdial in the 6 o'clock position, even though the hands and date windows are left in the same space. The new Carrera Chronos shine in the materials and finishing department. The dial here utilizes the sunray brushed finish versus the radial finish on the Sports Chrono. The finishing on the face of the case is polished opposed to the more brushed finishes of the sportier versions. The lugs are also considerably narrower, a feature that most vintage Heuer lovers would surely be delighted to see. The pushers as well are more refined with softer bevels and curves. The bracelets are noticeably satin finished that lends well to dressier environments that these Carreras are more at home for. There are leather variants that are even more formal and elegant to look at. For the sake of elegance, you do have to settle for a less luminous watch. The applied indexes are finely finished on all of the models, with the silver dial version sporting gold tones on it. As fine as the indexes may be, they lack the lume in the middle. It is a lot thinner than the Sports Chrono version, which makes sense if Tag Heuer wanted a cleaner dial. There is lume on top of the markers, so it's not completely left invisible in the dark. The dial proudly displays the Heuer 02 markings along with the 80 hours of power reserve that it's capable of. Behind the piece is a display caseback that flaunts this Heuer 02 movement. The rotor here is treated with the same elegance as the case by using gold instead of the finished black rotor on the Sports Chrono. Notable with this Heuer 02 movement is the lack of the oscillating pinion that Heuer chronographs were known for. What led to the decision of removing this oscillating pinion? Jean-Claude Viver, Tag Heuer CEO, explains why. When it came to designing the new Tag Heuer Carrera, we were faced with a choice between a vintage-inspired piece and a modern reworking. We opted for the latter. At Tag Heuer, all of our energy goes into designing the watches of the future. We innovate by anticipating the desires of tomorrow's consumers. This very same ideal is what attracted many collectors to vintage Heuers, their penchant for innovation and motor racing. We now arrive to the second reason why these new Carreras embody the Heuer spirit. Techniques avant-garde, or TAG in the company's name, means new or experimental ideas realized in the timepieces it makes. Even if it means abandoning the endeared oscillating pinion, Heuer is willing to sacrifice it for the sake of advancement of the brand, advancement of watchmaking. When Weaver was asked whether we will see the oscillating pinion again in the future, he flat out said, no. Because the vertical clutch enables a much more precise chronograph, according to Weaver. The second hand does not jump forward nor backwards when the chronograph is started, which happens sometimes with the oscillating pinion, and is even its signature. Plus, the vertical clutch is a more complex part that many of our customers and connoisseurs are looking for. This is the Heuer spirit, the TAG Heuer identity. We have questioned before the identity of TAG Heuer, from their quality control to material sourcing and down to marketing. But maybe it's time we let go of these endeared pinions of ideas about TAG Heuer and consider the brand once again as one of the leading innovators in watchmaking. The Carrera stays true to the essence of the vintage chronograph we've grown to love in the pre-TAG Heuer era. But it keeps its eyes and ideals focused on what the brand embodied, advancement in timekeeping. It's symbolic beauty to see TAG Heuer remain loyal to its automotive roots, brand heritage, and drive to pursue innovation. All of these ideals are measured not by looking back at the past, but for every inch it drives forward to now and into the future.